Hello, my name is Buddy Parchcorn. I'm a beading artist from Ada, Oklahoma, and today I'm going to show you a few things about beading. Today I'm going to show you how I actually done beading many years ago. I'm a self-taught artist that I was interested in beading only when I met a young lady at one time when I was a young man. I started beading to make something for her, and so in the beginning I didn't really know what I was doing because nobody taught me how. So I had a loom, and so what I did was I started teaching myself. So what I did is I picked up a loom, let's say like this one here, and I did a little bit of research on looming, but I wasn't really sure how to actually do the beading part. So I took my time and started making different designs on paper. I need pencil on paper to kind of actually make a design to kind of figure out what I was going to, create a different pattern. So today I did this many years ago. If you'll notice that these are just diamond shaped. So this beading project here was done, I would say 37 years ago. Very long time. But if you actually sew the beads on the leather, and it would last a very long time. So I interested in doing this. So you can tell where I was just kind of an amateur. You'll see a little leather on the sides here and here. I didn't realize that when you make the bend, you would have to meet up on the ends. So you'd have to allow a little bit longer beadwork to make it to all completely end to end. So this is what I call a blank. This is made out of brass, and then I just wrapped it around the leather, glued it down on the leather and tightened it up. And so let's say, for instance, this is one of the beads that come off the loom. And so what I would do, I would add it to the bracelet like so. I would put a little glue on here just to keep it from moving so I can actually sew it down. And so what I would do is just do a whip stitch to kind of keep it from moving. The glue's just kind of keep it still. It's not really something that I use a lot, just maybe a tack glue, something to keep it from moving. And so you would end up maybe coming up with something like this. Now, this is what I made. It has flowers and it has a heart, and it's for the person I made this one for over the years. So you can tell between the two, there's a lot of difference in your skill after you start learning how to bead. So with that being said, I'm going to move on to, this is a loom here. I'm going to show you how I start out. I get my thread. This is nylon thread. You need, so I'm using very small beads, a size 13. So that's one of the smallest that you can find. You will be able to use any size, really. You can go to 10s, 11s, and 12s. They're just a little bit bigger. But so I made it just a regular loop, and what I'm going to do is just make a regular knot on it, and then if I can, I must have missed the, so I'm going to make a regular knot, and then maybe one more just for a good measure. You don't want it to slip. So this is the reason why I add 2 to 3 knots on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you an idea on how we do the looming part with the string. So this is nylon string, and then I loop on the other side of it just to kind of give you an idea. Loop around it. And so what I'm doing right now is to make it a little tighter each time I start out. Now, as I start making the each row I loosen up just a bit. You really don't want to add too much, and then because if you tighten it the same tension on it, it will sag in the center. So now I'll start on with the one I already have ready to bead. And so a lot of times people like to add beeswax to their string, and what it does, beeswax will kind of secure the string to stay together. A lot of times it'll frail after you do so many passes through the beads. And so what I do is I'll put a knot on the end, and for myself I like to start in the center after I make my design. So, and I'm going to show you how I pick up beads. Now I'm going to use just a solid color at the moment, and then I'll move on to a design. Maybe I'll work on maybe a diamond design. So let's see, I'm going to try, we'll go with the red. So this is how I pick my beads up. Now I drop one here, but so I make sure that I keep my hand in my needle kind of flat to the surface there, and I just slide them on. And you kind of notice how if you go like this, you'll lose a lot of them if you don't hold any beads on with by the needle. Let's see, I got 6, and I'm going to try 7 on here. So this is kind of the tricky part also. I'll put the first row on, and then I pick up the thread in between each bead. And then I'll just kind of push all the beads together, and I'll still hold on to it, and I run my needle right back through all of them. And you can almost see the needle go through them. If you don't see the needle go through them as you look straight down on them, you had missed a bead. So after I go through them, I go back underneath and then start over again. Now this time I'm going to add a color to it. So I'm going to pick up, so I have 7 on here. I'm going to pick up 3 reds, and then I'm going to start my diamond shape, and then I'll pick up a light blue. And then I'll pick up 3 more reds. So what you're going to do is you're going to start adding more color now after you add that 1. So, I might have added 1 more too many. But it's just easy way to do. So when I go through these to make it straight, I use this part of my finger to hold up, and it kind of got a curve to it, so it pushes all the beads up. You want to push all your beads up to make sure that you get past the thread going a long ways. So I have the loom facing me, so I can actually, I go from left to right, so it just helps me a little bit more to look at it, at the design I'm trying to go for. So I'm going to pick up 3 of the blue, and then 2 red. Okay, and so you'll start noticing that the design will start taking place. Looks kind of easy, but you know, I think if you take your time, and you don't really want to pull on the thread too hard, just kind of tug it to where it'll secure it really well on the ends there. And then now we'll add 1 red and 5 blues. So I'll make it look simple as what I've been hearing from others that watch me bead, but there's times where I actually will miss a bead and make an accident. I might put a different color in there and not really realizing it. So when that happens, let's say I had a green one sitting in there on the second blue. To fix that mistake, you can actually get the last row, pull it back some, and then hold your beads and then pull out just a little bit where you can actually pull that back out and change your bead back. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. And this is how I actually would do any kind of mistakes I would make in the design. So now I'm going to go back to reds again. And the reason why I have this little pad here, because it really helps me. I made this myself just to kind of have something smaller. A lot of people have a larger pad like this and try to put all their beads on it, and to me it's just I'd rather have something small so I can just pick it up and go if I needed to. So we're going to reduce down the blues back to 3 again, and what I'm trying to do is just make a diamond at the moment. So if you're not sure you actually went through all the beads and all the string, just back out and try it again. It should catch them all, because you'll feel that bead go up if you did miss. Just kind of tug it just a bit, and then we'll move on to the last blue bead. And this is how I actually do all my work. The anywhere from hat bands to ball teams, or animals maybe, or even flowers. So you can do this on graph paper. Just figure out what you might like to have on your design and just come up with it, and then maybe color it in to whatever color you would like, and you should have something really nice. I do have a lot of people wanting certain designs, in which I don't mind. I just have to sit down with them and just kind of figure out what they're interested in having. And so this type of loom work here is really a good way to start for a beginner. Now you can actually move on to, if this is too easy for you now, you can actually move on to something different, like peyote stitching or anything like that. So when I come to a point, let's say to an end, what I'll do is I'll go underneath the second 2 in between the thread, and when I finish, I try to go back to the last row. You can go through it maybe twice. And then if you want to go back just to secure it well, you can go back through it, the last row again. And like so. And so sometimes you would need a needle nose pliers, because sometimes it gets a little tight, but you might pull it with that. Okay, and then so that's a little lesson on the looming. So you have different designs that people want, and you might know who this team is. Now, it was a little difficult to make, but I did put the socks and the bee and the red socks on here for ones that are a fan of the Red Sox. And so I never did finish it because I think the blue was a little bit off, so I decided not to finish it, and that's how it ended up. So we do also cuffs for men. So men also wear these type of bracelets, and it's what we put on there. I put a white buffalo on mine. This is the only one I ever made for myself. I don't really make too many things for myself, so I rather other people enjoy something if I made it myself. So so I kind of mastered the looming, and so I did many style of bracelets. Like this one here might be a little different for some. When you become an artist, you start figuring out how creative you could be. So on this one in particular, I just added different designs. I like doing native designs. You might even see this one bead that's out of place. I like to just kind of do that, just to throw off patterns, or add a diamond somewhere where another bead out of place, and just kind of come up with your own vision. And so you would do this as a hobby, like I did. I did this as a hobby, and it ended up being a challenge on all kind of ways. I also teach. I taught my daughter how to actually do the beadwork, and what I did to her was, when I was doing my looming, I told her that she was kind of curious on what I was doing, and so she looked over my shoulder, and I said, "I bet you can't do this." So that was kind of a challenge for her. And at the age of 13, she sat down, and I said, "Do 2 rows," and I showed her the pattern, and I walked off, and I said, if you have trouble, just let me know. So I left and came back, and she had 2 rows done. I said, "Well, keep going. I have a pattern here. Just keep going." And eventually, she enjoyed it. This is one of her first bracelets that she made. So this was her first competition bracelet, and she won first place in it. And so the enjoyment of making different type items like this, people really are interested in having them as well. And so she made this one, and so we started on something different, kind of like peyote stitching. This one here is a flute that she, a lot of times people thought that I might have done this, and it really frustrated her because it was good enough to put in the competition, and it ended up winning the best of show for I think she was at the time 15. So it has the 3-dimensional reds in here. There's one in the center that's a little brighter, and then a little duller, and a little brighter. And so it took her a while to actually do this, because peyote stitching is another form of beading that is really difficult. You got to be advanced to actually do this. It just takes a little time, and each bead takes a little a good count. You have to count. It's a lot of math actually, and so to get that, and even with the looming is it's all to do with numbers. And so I have another item here I'd like to show everyone. This one here, let me see if I can get it down here, is a best of show piece also. I didn't do it, but my daughter actually did. So she actually put an eagle right here, and started from the we started from the top, and then she had her favorite colors. Each color in here represents what she likes, and so we decided to do this cane for her grandfather. And so he passed, and so she wanted to put eagles in there because he was going on his journey. So this is something she did at the age of 16, and people said, "Oh, did your dad do that?" and you know, like I said, she's so talented to where she enjoyed beading so well that she sat down and made it. And it took her, I guess months to actually get it together, because when she got almost to the center, her grandfather passed, and so she added the eagles, and that was kind of something that she thought would respect him because he was in the military also. So she finished it, even though that happened, and then she entered the competition, and so she ended up winning the best of show as well. So she was back to back with best of shows. So it's just something that we enjoy doing together. She mainly puts the colors together, and I'm mainly kind of help her design each art piece. And you can also add them to rattles. Now this one here is not quite done, but I can kind of give you an idea how peyote stitching is about, like the cane and the flute. It's not quite done, but here's how. So you have to, like on the cane and the flute, you have to pick up one at a time. So this is asking for a orange yellow. So what you have to do is go through each bead. And so I like to hold it with my finger against the stick here, and then I'll pick up another color. So it's going to go orange, yellow, and then an orange. So this really takes time to actually do this, and this is how you would actually do the peyote stitching. Peyote stitching, like I said, is difficult. So I'm going to lay this right here. You can loom hats also. A lot of people wear cowboy hats in different style. You can add horses. We add horses, buffaloes. This is a white buffalo. I'm a big fan of buffaloes. And you can add it to drums as well. This one here I made. And you see the buffalo. This is an applique on the buffalo. So I did it on actually on paper. It is on a kind of like a cardboard type paper, index card actually, and then I put leather behind it, sewed them together, and then added the ends and glued it to the drum with leather-based glue, and it has a good sound even though the buffalo is on there, and you can see the designs on it as well. I did this a while back for myself. Like I said, I don't make a whole lot for myself, but I thought I'd have something, and I'll give you a little what it sounds like. So it is a little bit flat. To tighten it up, you can leave it in the sun or put it against heat, and it'll tighten up. But this one here is kind of flat. But you can put them on different type instruments that are interested in actually doing. And just like the rattle, it's not quite finished, but I think I'm gonna do something else to it. But I do enjoy adding it just to give it a little, look about it, not just being a horn rattle only. But that's what I have today, and I hope you enjoy everything that you've seen, and hopefully somebody will pick this up and learn how to bead. Beading is very easy for some, and it could be difficult. Just take your time and try looming first, and then move on, and applique and peyote stitching are two others that is enjoyable as well. So I hope everybody tries it, or just give it a try, and then hopefully we can make some artwork together. Thank you.